webinar is Facebook Made Simply with Burchek, Sharon Steitler, and I will let her tell us all about Facebook.
Thank you very much, Holly. How many people here have a Facebook page? Willingly? Okay. How many people use their page for their bird store, nature store, company at all? Okay. Feel free to ask questions during this. This is basically what I tried to do is base this on programs that I've done in the past year where people were kind of starting from square one. They haven't been able to do that much with it, but if you need some questions, or if you have some questions, please let me know. I'm just going to talk about things that you can do to kind of maximize how you're reaching people, maybe give you some ideas. If anyone has any ideas that they want to share, I'm certainly willing to share that way too. Sure. What is the best time of day to put a post on? That's a great question. I read an article once that said Friday morning between 9 a.m. to noon because people are at work, they're thinking about leaving work early, they want to pretend like they're looking busy, and so that's when most people are on Facebook. In general, most people are on Facebook when they're at work. So you're going to get a lot of traffic Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, with variation according to time zones. Now, there are some people who are going to be on Facebook all the time. And thanks to mobile devices like your BlackBerry, well, not so much that anymore, but your iPhone, your Android, people can access it anytime, whether they're waiting in line at the DMV, whether they're waiting in line to get checked out here at Crest. So you can use it literally anytime. But again, work days are going to be when it's there the most. Now, some of what I'm about to tell you today may be very different next week. Facebook has gone through a lot of changes in the last couple weeks, as maybe you've seen or heard people complain about. They're going to introduce another change. Your profile page is about to change. They said it was going to be over this weekend, but sometime before the end of this month, whatever profile page you have now is going to look completely different. And one thing you need to do whenever Facebook makes changes is always adjust your privacy settings and your access settings. How many people do that on a regular basis? Interesting. Okay, the thing to understand about Facebook at the end of the day is that you, the user, are the commodity. They are tracking everything that you do. And you can do things to try and minimize that, but at the end of the day, you'd be amazed at how well they can track you and what they can figure out advertising-wise. So when you have a Facebook account and you're thinking about using it for business, you need to establish some clear goals. Think about how you want to use your personal account. Do you just want to use your personal account for your business? If you do, you need to establish some pretty clear rules about what you're going to post on your personal page. If you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, my 6 nieces and nephews just friended me over here, my daughter friended me over here, they don't want to know about the business, and I don't want people I know business-wise interacting with my wacky daughter, then you're going to have to maybe set up a separate page for your business. Everybody talks about, the goal of being on the internet is to go viral and get thousands, maybe even millions of people following you and listening to what you say. Keep your goals realistic. I mean, if you have 200 people who follow your company page on a regular basis, that's 200 customers that you have an easy way to reach. So don't feel like you're not doing it right if you don't have thousands of followers. So if you don't have a Facebook page and you still want to have one for your store, you have to have a personal account. I had a conversation with someone very recently who said, I want a business page, but I don't want a personal account. In order to create a business page for Facebook, you have to create your own personal page. You don't have to put anything on it. You don't have to put a bearded photo of yourself on there if you don't want to. It kind of weeds out the crazies a little bit. So just keep in mind what you're going to post on there. Once you've set up your page, you want to work. Let me go back. This is your profile page on Facebook. Once you're here, you want to spend a lot of time up in this area where it says Edit Profile, Home, View As. You just, especially if there's ever a change in Facebook, you always want to go up there. And when you get up there, you're going to find you have these options. You have, hold on. Is the tinniness bothering anyone when I speak? Can you hear me without the microphone?
Can you guys hear over there if she doesn't have the microphone? I didn't think so. They can't hear over there with the door open. Try a different microphone, or I can turn it down a little bit.
Okay. Turn the volume down. How's this? This is a different microphone. Does that work? Okay, we'll just use this one instead. Okay, so you want to focus on your account settings, your privacy settings. These are two really good ones to have too. Use your Facebook page. When you go into account settings, you can. What was that? Okay, when you go into account settings, you have this thing called linked accounts. It'll ask you if you want to link your account with Google, with your MySpace page, if anyone else still has one of those, with your Yahoo account, OpenID, and you probably have multiple accounts out there, like you have a Gmail account that you use. Chances are you also probably have a Google Plus profile if you haven't played with that yet, but you can integrate it with that. You can have those accounts so that Facebook recognizes you there, it recognizes your friends there, it can say, oh hey, you have this friend on MySpace that isn't here on Facebook, try to get them to join. So if you want to do that, you can link new accounts, and that's up to you whether you want to do it or not. Facebook is going to promote that to you as a way to link all your accounts together, but really what they're using that is to find out more about what your interests are, so when people buy advertising through Facebook, they can target you directly. The most important feature you have in here are your privacy settings. And these are something that anytime Facebook does a new change, they're going to adjust. And this is something I think everybody needs to check on a regular basis. When you go into privacy settings, you can control how you connect with people. You can control whether or not someone has tagged you in a photo. How many of us have been tagged in a photo where we really like that picture of our chin or our butt or tag? Okay, that's a good question. What does it mean when someone tags you? Let's say I take a whole bunch of pictures tonight at the country club after the open bar has been going for about 3 hours. And somebody starts table dancing. And I happen to be friends with them on Facebook. When I get back to Minneapolis tomorrow, I can upload those Facebook pictures and I can start tagging anyone that I'm friends with. And when I tag you, that puts a link back to your profile page. So not only does it say your name, but it links to your page. And so someone they'll look at that and say, well, look at that table dancer. That's Jane Doe. I'm going to click on Jane Doe's profile. Wow, look at all. Jane Doe runs a bird store. I wonder what kind of bird she's interested in. So it's a way for someone to connect your profile with your photo. And it's a good idea. I always put on mine, I like to keep track of who's tagging me in photos, because spammers have found a way around this. You can get your profile spammed. There was a bird editor I know, and one day I opened up my Facebook page, and the news showed that he was tagged in some very naughty naked ladies. And basically what had happened was someone had friended him, didn't know them, but he friended them anyway. They started posting naughty photos and tagging hundreds of people. And so then that gets embarrassing on your end, because I don't care about naked ladies. But it's just a good idea to have control. And so anytime someone tags you in a photo, you'll get a notification saying, hey, your friend here tagged you. Do you want to accept this tag? Do you want your name linked to that photo? Are you okay with that? And you should to decline it or accept it. Does that make sense? Okay. Facebook now gives you the option to also tag people in status updates. So I could say, oh my gosh, I had the craziest time in the car last night with the people from Rucker Pet on the way back from the banquet. And if I were friends with them on Facebook, I could tag them in that too. So, and sometimes people do, my friends do it to me all the time with bird questions. They're like, hey Sharon, I saw something that looked like a cardinal with a bald head, and I don't know what it is. And that's kind of a way for me to be able to see that someone asked me a question directly on Facebook without it getting lost in my newsfeed. Does that make sense? So you can be tagged in a status update, you can be tagged in a photo, and it's just a way, Facebook says of linking you, but it's really a way to keep track of your interests. Other things this is something you might want to keep track of down here where it says limit the audience for past posts. When Facebook introduces their new profile, it's basically going to become your entire timeline on Facebook. And so if you have any old high school photos in there, maybe you put up a photo that you thought was funny at the time when you joined Facebook 5 years ago, it's now going to show up in a timeline. And whereas now it's probably buried and people may have trouble finding it, with this new profile when it comes up, it's going to be very easy for people to see. So if you go into your privacy settings and you go down here to where it says limit the audience for past posts, you can click on manage past post visibility and that will minimize some of that. So that's just something to keep in mind. So yeah, always play around in your privacy. It's a good thing to do. You can control now, Facebook has a way for you to control who interacts with you. You can control whether or not someone looks up, can find you just based on doing a search in Facebook. And this is important if someone has a private page and they've created a store page. And let's say you don't necessarily want your customers finding your private page because you use it to interact with your family and you don't want them seeing pictures of your grandkids or anything like that. So you can control this that someone can still find your business page, but if you keep it to just only people who are friends with you, then those are the only people who can find you in Facebook if they're searching for you. Does this make sense? So you can control, you can make yourself as visible as you want. If your personal Facebook page is a business page and you want people to find you, you can adjust that to be friends of friends or everybody. You can control who sends you friend requests. Maybe you really don't want to have 5,000 friends, so you can just keep it, I only want people who are friends of people I'm friends with. I don't need the whole world to be friends with me. You can control who sends you messages. Sometimes it's nice to have everyone to send you a message because maybe someone will say, hey, are you the person that owns that store? Do you have a business page so I can find that store? So that's one way that you can do that. And you can control who posts on your wall. This is very important if you have friends who are a little wackier than you are and you don't necessarily want them to post some not safe for work photos. And you can control who can put links and whatnot on your Facebook page. This is all in your privacy settings. And again, even if you have these settings up, whenever Facebook makes a major change, go in there and check your privacy settings because 9 times out of 10 they change something because they think you don't want to be that private. And this is an example when you click on who can see wall posts posted by others on your profile. Whenever you click on one of these boxes, you have the option to make that public. You have the options of letting friends of friends see those posts. You have the option of only friends. You can even make something only me. And what's really fun is you have this option right here that says custom. Let's say you have people that you have to be friends with because it would just cause problems at Thanksgiving if you didn't friend them. You can put them in something called limited profile, and you can just exclude them from seeing anything that they don't need to see, and they won't necessarily know about that. So again, play with your privacy settings. Let's see. This is another box on tags. Someone asked earlier about tags. You can go in and you can really do some control with your tags. You can do a profile review of post friends tag you in. We've talked about this already, but you can customize this to really make sure that people don't tag you in. We already talked about this, so I'm going to skip past it. Right. Has anyone created lists of their friends on Facebook? I see some no, I see some yes. This is a really handy tool. Facebook has always had this option where you can make a list and put people in various lists. Because some people were using it, and because a new network that's competing with Facebook called Google Plus has this built in, Facebook has created lists and has already kind of started figuring it out for you. If you haven't been to your Facebook page in the last 2 weeks, if you go now, you will have some lists. Like they've created a family list for you. They've figured based on who you interact with on a regular basis that they might be a good friend. But you can also customize and create your own list. And I've done this. I have a family list. You can also create a list for regional people in your area. And you can also create, like I said earlier, a place that's just limited access for someone. You have to be friends with them to keep family peace, but they don't need to know everything. And they won't know everything if you keep them in that limited access. But the sky's the limit in how you create your list. I think I tend to create lists based on how I know someone. It's like, these are people I know through my husband, these are people I know through the birding industry, these are people I know through the science fiction community, and it's just really handy. And then I also make a Twin Cities one. I have an event that I do, I'll talk about later, called Birds and Beers in the Twin Cities, and it's just people informally get together and we have a beer, and so whenever I create an event, I just use that Minneapolis area list, and that gets their attention, hopefully. your list and you want to double check your privacy, you have the option up in the corner, remember where there was the account settings under this arrow here, called View My Profile, View As. So you can view your profile as yourself and just kind of see how everything goes, but View As is a handy feature because this is a woman named Stacy, and I don't know her very well. She's just an acquaintance, so I have her limited profile. So she sees very different photos on my Facebook page when she comes to visit than, say, when my husband would come visit my page. He would see some of the wackier photos. She tends to see just some of the general photos. So if you ever want to double check your privacy and how private your page is, always use that. It's up in the top corner of your profile area, the View My Profile As feature. And you can just kind of double check to see how people are seeing your page. Then, after you have your Facebook page, and let's say you've decided to not use your personal Facebook page as your business page, you can create business pages. And you can make as many people helpers on your business page as you want to. These are different pages that I manage. I have my Bird Chick Facebook page. I help out with the birding business Facebook page. This is my Birds and Beers one. I also have one for the national park I work for, and then one for a friend of mine. And this is a great way for you to interact with your customers, let people know what's going on. And what's really fun is you can also navigate Facebook as one of these online identities if you want to. And you may be asking yourself, do I really need a business page? Why do I care about that? There are some really cool things that can be done. I started to write a status update. You know, on Facebook you can put the status update or, oh, I'm at the Crest show or something like that. Sometimes people will put up there, I just read this great article in Wild Bird magazine. If you use the @ sign before you ever type in a business name, Facebook will find that, and if they have a page, you can tag them in your status update. And so what I can do is I can say, oh, there's a really cool article about goldfinches in Wild Bird magazine, you should check it out. And then that will link to Wild Bird's page, and so then people can go directly to that Facebook page. What you want to have happen is if you have a bird store, you can have someone say, holy cow, I just got this great deal on a cardinal mix at Nature's Niche. And hopefully, if they know you have a Facebook page, they'll tag that. And so that way, you can get them sharing with their friends what your business has to offer. And what's really fun about that, there's a gourmet food store near where I live, and they have this stuff called habanero sugar that I absolutely love. And so I wrote on there, I love the habanero sugar at Lake Wine and Spirits. When any of my friends puts their cursor over the Lake Wine and Spirits tag, it automatically takes you to their page, and since their address is in there, it even shows where somebody can find them. So it really can be a great grassroots marketing tool for other people to share your business. Now, part of that is going to be on you is you have customers that you know are using your Facebook pages to say, hey, please, tell your friends if you like something here today, please put that in your status update. And, you know, even if someone only has 250 friends, that's potentially 250 people who may have never heard of your store before realizing that your store exists. Please promote your Facebook page, even if you're not comfortable using it. So many people have Facebook pages. And if they don't know about it, they're not going to like it. It's not uncommon for people to have Facebook pages. It can be a simple thing, like if you put out an e-newsletter, hey, like us on Facebook. Find out what's going on Facebook. With my Birds and Beers group, I used to just put the announcements of when we were going to have Birds and Beers on my blog, and I get emails from people all the time, I missed it, how can I find out about it? So now I'm just like it on Facebook, and every time there's a new Birds and Beers, I'll put it up there, and then that's how everybody finds out about it. And it's handy because then they get that notice in their wall of when there's going to be a Birds and Beers. Yes?
On some websites, and
yeah.
They have the little Facebook, Twitter thing. How do you get those little symbols to put at the bottom of your page?
Oh, that's a good question. The question is, when you go to blogs and other websites, and it has a little icon like us on Facebook, whoever has your template for your blog or whoever, they should have those buttons in there that you can add. I know with WordPress, I just have to go in, it's a little add-on I can use. And these are good things to have because you would be amazed at the number of lazy people who make, and I use lazy figuratively, but somebody is, they see a really cool article, it's like, oh, I want to share that with Facebook. Oh, they don't have a Facebook button. They're not going to copy and paste the link and put it on their Facebook page. So, sometimes I can make the difference of whether or not somebody shares your link. And it's crazy that if someone would be that lazy to, I just wanted one click button, I didn't want to have to copy and paste. But that's the way some people are. But yeah, just you should be able to get that through your template. Yes?
If we send out a monthly mailer,
Mhm.
constant contact, and so we can say like us on Facebook.
Yes.
So if you did some sort of a promotion, you said like us on Facebook and receive blah blah blah. How would you know that that person? Well, I know it says that they like you,
Mhm.
but how would you know that they haven't done it like 3 or 4 times and received that?
So if somebody is liking your page and is for a specific reason to get a $5 off coupon, how do you know somebody isn't going to click it 5 times?
Right, that, or how do you even know that they, how do you know that they did that? How does that come back to you that you know when they come to your store, they're gonna get that?
When you have your Facebook page for your business, there's a statistic page, and it shows you who's joining. It shows you who has. So you will actually see the names of people who have joined. When you go into one of the things that you can do when you create your business page, it says use Facebook as Bird Chick. I can go into my Bird Chick page and I can switch my identity so I'm only on there as Bird Chick and no one needs to know whether or not I have a personal profile. And when I do that, it'll have a thing on top that'll show me how many new people have joined since the last time I looked at it at Bird Chick. And if somebody is going to pull shenanigans like that, you're going to see their name several times.
How do you do that?
Let's see. Somebody wants to know how I do that. Okay, this is the Bird Chick page that I have created. After you have created a business page for yourself, you have all sorts of options over here. You have use Facebook as Bird Chick. You have notifications, and that's who's been commenting on your site, who's liked your site. You have promote with an ad, view insights, and invite friends. If you click on this thing up here that says use Facebook as, and let's say I'm a wild bird store, you can click on use, and then when you do that, usually up in this corner on Facebook, you have the little thing that shows you who liked you recently, who has left comments. So you would just look for those numbers. Also, down here, there's another tab that says View Insights. When you click on that, that will show you a graph of the activity of what's been going on your page too. Yeah, question?
When you use the word like, the difference between liking something and befriending something, a page, when you like it, when you're a friend, every post and everything that you put in their status change whatever they see. When you like it, do they see everything that goes on, or is that?
That is an excellent question. When you friend somebody, you can see everything that's going on. When you like something, can you see everything that goes on? And Facebook is gradually introducing a new word instead of like and friend called subscribe now. So that's another word you're going to see. Here's the deal. When you like, it's similar to friending when you like something. So let's say that I've liked Dunkin' Donuts. Every time Dunkin' Donuts writes something on their page, that's going to show up in my general wall feed. Now, Facebook is doing this thing called Top Stories, and they have you may not think that they've done that much, but they know how many times you've actually gone to the Dunkin' Donuts page. Or they even know, surprisingly or not, when you're not on Facebook, sometimes even when you're logged out, how often you may visit the actual www.dunkindonuts.com website. And they keep track of that, and so if you go to it a lot, then it'll always show up in the top news. But if you've only visited it once, you never check it out outside of Facebook, it may get lost, and Facebook may decide, she doesn't go to Dunkin' Donuts that much, she may not want to see this as much, and we're going to bury it. And that's when it's handy to have lists, because then I can kind of keep lists of businesses I'm actually interested in, and then when I click on that, I'll automatically see it. Did that?
You can like something once, and it'll just kind of fade away.
If you never do anything else with that page, that like you may not necessarily see it. But if you like it, it will always be in here until you unlike it or unsubscribe.
I'm thinking if a customer comes to our business page and likes it, how do I know to keep making sure that something gets to them?
Okay, how do you make sure something keeps getting to your customer? You need to make an interactive Facebook page, a way that gets your customer to check your site. And one thing that I was going to talk about This is a company in the Twin Cities called All Seasons Wild Bird Store. And they've had an e-newsletter, and one of the things they do is they put chunks of their newsletter once a week into their Facebook page, or some kind of announcement about it, or they'll put an announcement of something that an employee has seen. They update regularly, and so let's just say maybe they post a photo of a cardinal, and it's like, oh, someone had this great picture of a cardinal today, and you may see that tiny photo of a cardinal on your feed, but you're like, I want to see a bigger photo of a cardinal. So you click on it to read the full caption to see what kind of comments people are reading. And so if you start interacting with that page, then it's more likely to show up in your feed. So just having a place page is well and good on Facebook, but having a page where people can interact with it and have a reason to come visit it. And really cool things that you can do is, most people nowadays have a phone in their camera. If you set up your phone to go directly to your Facebook page, you could do some things like, oh wow, we just got this great feeder today. Take a quick photo, send it to your Facebook page with a little caption that says, new feeder we just got in today. And then bam, that's in there. I mean, that's something simple that didn't take a lot of work. It took a little bit to set it up. So yeah, I got a question.
So if we have a monthly newsletter we put on our web page, and we have feeding tips or suet tips that we put on our web page, we can go in and share something on our Facebook page, and if we put that at molesplantation.com and they click on that, that'll take them to our web page.
Excellent, excellent. The question is, if we have an e-newsletter or something that we have, can we put that on our Facebook page, and can we also put a link? Yes. Maybe what you want to do is just keep it, like maybe put one sentence from a particular article, but yeah, and then say read more, and then you can add a link to your status update, and that'll go right to your website.
Or we can put like feeding suet this time of year helps in migration. Want to see more tips, go to at.
Exactly. If you didn't hear that, he said maybe we could put something up there that says feeding suet can help with migration. For more suet or migration tips, go to this website. Absolutely. Now make sure when you have that link that you actually have an article there and not just an ad. Because so I mean, you definitely want to sell something, but make sure there are actually like at least 3 more tips in there about suet. But yeah, I mean, you guys have a lot of resources already, and so when people say, I don't have time to do Facebook, once you get it set up, and especially if you set it up with your phone, and you start looking at the materials that you already have, you're just finding a different way to bring it to customers, because, yeah, you send out a newsletter, you may do it in the mail, you may do it in email, people are not reading it all the time, and sometimes it's just that little bit of seeing it on a Facebook page that will get someone to read it just a little bit more and get them into the store. Yeah?
How much is too much? Because I've been told when you use Facebook, and I know I like companies, and you get an awful lot of information, and it's like, oh gosh, this is starting to drive me nuts. How much is too much for your customers?
How much is too much? I would say at the very least you want to do something once a week, maybe twice a week. I wouldn't recommend doing I mean, you can do something every day. People may hide you a little bit more, but the ones that I pay attention to are the ones who do things once or twice a week, and it's usually just a reminder of something I need to do, or hey, we got in this beer that you like, or we have this new type of truffle salt in, but just something once or twice a week just to kind of keep in the feed. Yes?
Isn't it true that if I post as my store
Yes.
on my Facebook page, it goes on to the news feeds of everyone else? But if somebody else posts on that page, it's not going onto the news feeds of everybody else.
That's a good question.
And so the better thing to do is you post a couple times a week, but you encourage your customers to get the posting, so people come and check what's happening. You're not always out. You know what I'm saying.
So the question was, when she posts as her business on her company page, that will go into the feed of all the people that have liked that page. If someone has liked that page and they put a picture up or they comment, it doesn't necessarily go out. But one thing that you can do